Alright, welcome back to the All Sports Network YouTube channel for I am Jack Truglio, and as many of you may know, the NFL draft is only 2 days away, and you know what that means throughout this draft process. You may get annoyed by them, some of you may love them, but it is mock draft season, and personally I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I do enjoy them a bit. It's like March Madness, brackets, it's just predictions. You're just trying to gather as much research and everything as you can to try and make the best picks and what you think will happen and should happen. So in today's video, as you may guess, we are doing our official mock draft for the 2021 NFL Draft. Spoiler alert, if you're looking for a crazy, outrageous, mock draft, there's no such thing as that because, none of us actually truly know what's going to happen besides some of these teams and people that are making decisions, but mine is definitely not a unrealistic draft. It's more things that could happen, not like guys that are projected fourth rounders going in the first round. So with that being said, as many of you guys will probably guess, the number one overall pick, in my opinion, will end up being Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence's strengths would be pinpoint accuracy, smooth footwork, refined technique, and elite athleticism for the quarterback position. He has ideal size, being 6'6", 220 pounds. There's not a lot of holes that you could poke at this prospect. There is, I would say, besides him and Kyle Pitts, they're pretty flawless coming into the NFL. So I think he's a no-doubter first pick. With the second overall pick, I think that the New York Jets will end up taking Zach Wilson, although they've been reported to not many, but a good amount of prospects that could possibly go there. I do think it will be Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, his strengths are pinpoint accuracy, he has an instinct for making plays, and has smooth footwork, not to mention elite arm strength and arm cockiness. What I mean by arm cockiness is he believes that he can make every throw, and he's shown on tape throughout, although he is kind of a guy that has climbed up mock drafts and a lot of draft boards over these last 6 months. I do believe that he has what it takes to be an elite quarterback in the NFL, so I do think that the Jets will take him with the second overall pick. Here's where I love the draft. The best part of the draft, where it gets the most interesting, here at the third overall pick with the 49ers. It seems to flip every day between the experts, people doing mock drafts. Some people think Mac Jones, some people think Trey Lance, some people think Justin Fields. It seems to have been narrowed down between Mac Jones and Trey Lance, but who knows? This could just be them throwing smoke screens and that they're going to take Justin Fields, or it could be us overthinking it and being Mac Jones. I think based on the evidence and everything that I've gathered and learned, I think it will end up being Mac Jones. I think it should be Justin Fields. Not that Mac Jones will be a bad quarterback. I think he'll definitely be solid and a very good quarterback, and he might be a bit underrated even, but number 3 seems a bit high for me, but I do think this is where he'll go. Mac Jones last year, he played pretty flawless, although some people do like to point out his athleticism. I wouldn't say he's a terrible runner. If he had to make a play with his feet, he could definitely, but his strengths are definitely pinpoint accuracy, smooth footwork, and IQ. Football IQ. Steve Sarkisian came out and said that he's the guy that he's given the most, keys to his offense. Mac Jones was definitely going to end up being a good quarterback. Number 3 a bit high, but I do think this is who the Niners go with, and I think he'll have a really good career. With the 4th overall pick, this is an interesting team for sure, like the 49ers. Well, I think they're different because it does seem like that they're not going to take a quarterback, so you could technically say, the draft does start at the 49ers because that's probably the most up for air, pick. But here with the Falcons, there's many things they could do. They could trade back. They could take Kyle Pitts. They could take, Justin Fields or someone like that, Jamar Chase. But I do think that they'll end up, if they do stay at this pick, that they'll take Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is probably my favorite prospect in this draft. I know that Trevor Lawrence I had rated as the number 1 overall prospect, but I love Kyle Pitts. He's a versatile tight end who can line up all over the field. He wins at the catch point with elite body control and strong hands with rare length. He's a 6'6", 239, who ran a 4.4 40, which is just ridiculous to think about. And I think that he'll be, like I said, I don't like to label people, being Hall of Famers, but I do think if anyone had the best chance, it would be Kyle Pitts, barring any injuries. You guys may think this is a common theme of what I'll be saying, but it probably will end up being. I flip back and forth between Penei Sewell and Jamar Chase for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think at the end of the day that they feel like they could go get a pass catcher that they like in the 2nd, 3rd round, or possibly even next year. I like guys like Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, who they currently have on their roster. So I think with the 5th overall pick that the Bengals will end up taking Penei Sewell from Oregon. He is a big physical guy. He loves to be in the trenches. He dominates the trenches. He's a bulldozer, refined technique, and has smooth footwork for being 6'6", 325 pounds. That's a big man. He's a pro-ready frame. He could be an instant impact guy that can go out and protect Joe Burrow, who we unfortunately saw get hurt because of lack of protection. So I think that Penei Sewell will be the Bengals pick here. With the Miami Dolphins picking at the 6th spot, our number 1 overall rated receiver will come off the board, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase had a very impressive sophomore year at LSU where he was even better than his Pro Bowl teammate Justin Jefferson, who was drafted in the first round last year. Jamar Chase is a 6'1", 200-pound receiver from LSU, like I said, who is bully. He will just bully you. He will go get that ball no matter what. He has very strong, sure hands and short area quickness. He's a savvy route runner who separates late in his routes and can make big plays at all 3 levels of the field and is a load to bring down after the catch. I think this will be a perfect weapon with Tua Tagovailoa, who, although he didn't have the most promising rookie year, I do believe in Tua and that he will get right, and having a top pass catcher like Jamar Chase will help him out big time. So that's who the Dolphins take with the 6th overall pick. With the 7th overall pick, while I'm not the biggest fan of mock trades, I do think that this one is realistic. I have the Lions trading the 7th pick for the 16th pick, which would be the Cardinals. So the Cardinals will be trading up to the 7th spot to take Jalen Waddle, going all in on offense. I believe that they will end up doing this. Jalen Waddle is an elite threat down the field, which is something that the Arizona Cardinals have been lacking, while they do have a awesome all-pro receiver in DeAndre Hopkins. Larry Fitzgerald is always consistent. I have faith in Christian Kirk, and we'll see what AJ Green still has left. Jalen Waddle has elite athleticism, tilting speed, just short area quickness, big play pass catcher with drag racer, acceleration, and toughness at the catch of the point. Dangerous as a return man as well. A very versatile player that can do it all, while he's been compared to Tyreek Hill. I'm not going to go ahead and say that, but he does have elite quickness and speed at the receiver position, so I think that the Cardinals will trade up and take him with the 7th pick. Here with the 8th pick, one of the most interesting prospects in this draft, and one of my favorite, Justin Fields. I have the Panthers taking him. I know that they took Sam Darnold. I am not sold on Sam Darnold, and I do not think that the Panthers are too, and especially because it seems like Trey Lance and Justin Fields could possibly follow them without them having to trade up. We'll see how it goes in my mock draft. That's how I think it'll go. So I think that the Panthers will end up taking Justin Fields. He has ideal size, being 6'3", 228 pounds. He only lost 4 starts, I want to say, in college. I know that he had some rough ones against Northwestern and Indiana without some of his top receivers in the Northwestern game. And he's shown out in the biggest stages. He's been good against Clemson both years in the national championship. He wasn't terrible, Alabama was just a way better team than Clemson that year. He's a rugged, efficient passer with a big arm, pinpoint ball placement, and explosive to stress defenses on the ground. The only weakness, in my opinion, the pre-read stuff I've heard about that, I think that's fixable, honestly. And I think a lot of QB gurus that I've really trust and have said that already. I think the one scary thing is the elbow thing, that he keeps his elbow so flat and above his shoulder almost. That's kind of unfixable. I do like the more smooth, Aaron Rodgers flick of the wrist, keeping the elbow more down, Mahomes and whatnot. But I think that that's not going to stop him from being a great NFL quarterback. The 9th pick, the Broncos finally get the quarterback that they've been dying for. Well, they thought they had in Drew Lock. I don't think so. I do like the idea of Trey Lance. I heard a boomer bust prospect. I do think that might be a bit true, but I'm buying in on the boom. Trey Lance is a big guy, 6'2", 225 pounds, elite athleticism, elite arm strength, indefinite upside. I think he's been compared to Josh Allen. I think it's more comparing him to Josh Allen coming into the league now what Josh Allen is now. He is a big, dynamic signal caller who throws the ball with accuracy and beats defenses with his legs, but just has 1 season of starting experience at the FCS level, which would be a weakness, but I'm still buying in on the Trey Lance hype, and I think the Broncos will too with their 9th overall pick. Coming off the board here is my number 1 rated overall linebacker for the 2021 NFL Draft, Micah Parsons. I know that there's some, background stuff, personal stuff and whatnot. I think that teams are willing to overlook that and it won't be that big of a deal. I think maybe he's a guy you have to, be on more, maybe some maturing that needs to happen with Micah Parsons, but I think that the Cowboys have been lacking at the linebacker depth, and especially saying if you could add Micah Parsons to Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch, that could be a pretty nasty linebacker core, all staying healthy and maturity and everything and all that. But Micah Parsons is a big dude, 6'3", 245 pounds, more than ideal size at the linebacker position. He's long, athletic, and versatile off the ball. With the pass rushing chops and a 3-down player who can fill multiple roles on the defense, I think he is ideal for this Cowboys offense that has struggled, that has struggled these last couple of years. With the 11th pick, I have the New York Giants bolstering their secondary even more, even though that they were a surprisingly good defense last year. I have them getting even better with this pick, taking Patrick Surtain out of Alabama. Surtain has more than ideal size, being 6'2", 220 pounds. He's a stingy, disciplined cornerback with rare length and good ball skills and a competitive nature. Not to mention that his dad was an all-pro cornerback himself, so he has great genes and lineage within the NFL. I think this will be a great pick for the Giants and will help them out in the future and right now. With the 12th pick, I have one of the more interesting teams in the league, this being the Eagles. This is going to be a weird year for them with the Jalen Hurts here, where they're going to try him out and see what they have. But I think saying that they have no weapons, that they do go ahead and get a weapon here, and why not go get the Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith out of Alabama. Devontae Smith is 6'1", 175 pounds. He has more than elite speed, sure hands, short area quickness, and refined skills. He is a slender, long-limbed pass catcher with incredible ball skills and a knack for making plays. The only downside to Devontae Smith is his weight, which is really 166 pounds, but I think that you can get over that, saying that in 2020 he nearly had 2,000 receiving yards and 23 touchdowns. I think that he'll be a great weapon for the Eagles this year and for many years to come. With the 13th pick, I have the Los Angeles Chargers taking Rashawn Slater, our number 2 rated offensive lineman for this year. I think this will be great for them, saying that they've already bolstered their offensive line this year with bringing in guys like Corey Linsley and whatnot. Rashawn Slater is a big guy, 6'3", 305 pounds, and well-built, athletic left tackle who's a technician as a pass blocker, dependable as a run blocker, and capable of manning multiple spots on the line. He has smooth footwork, refined technique, and short area quickness. I think this will be a great pick for Los Angeles Chargers, and quietly they're building a great team, and it would be surprising here if they couldn't go compete for a championship or at least be a steady playoff team these next coming years. With the 14th pick, I have the Vikings needing to shore up their defensive line from last year, and them taking our best edge rusher that we graded this year, that being Jalen Phillips out of Miami. Phillips is a 6'5", 226 pound edge rusher. He's big, athletic, and versatile pass rusher with tantalizing traits and upside. He has a pro-ready frame. With the 15th pick, this is definitely an interesting team that a lot of people, we have no idea what they will do. Do we ever really know what the Patriots will do? It's very common for them to trade back instead of trading up. Some think that they'll trade up for a quarterback. I don't think that they will. I think that they just ended up taking cornerback from South Carolina, J.C. Horn, if they do stay. The Patriots are always a tough team to predict what they're going to do, so I just picked the best cornerback prospect left, in my opinion, because it seems like they are going to move on from Stephon Gilmore. J.C. Horn is a 6'1", 200-pound corner from South Carolina. He's an aggressive and physical cover corner with fluidity in coverage and excellent ball skills. He has short area quickness, coverage chops, and a pro-ready frame. He can already come into the league and be an instant impact guy. In the trade with the Cardinals, I have the Lions now picking at the 16th spot. With the 16th pick, I have the Lions going ahead and taking the best offensive line prospect left, that being Christian Darrisaw. Darrisaw is a 6'5", 314-pound offensive lineman from Virginia Tech. He's burly, athletic left tackle with nimble feet, good length, and consistent technique. He has a pro-ready frame, smooth footwork, short area quickness, and he can be an instant impact for the Lions. With the 17th pick, I have the Raiders taking one of my favorite prospects and one of the more interesting prospects in this draft. This guy being from Notre Dame, and because of my pronunciation dyslexia, this is going to be a tough one for me to pronounce, so bear with me here. Jeremiah Usa Kamara, I believe is his name. He is a 6'2", 215-pound linebacker with shades of Jamal Adams in him. Many think that he could switch over to the safety position, maybe be like an Isaiah Simmons last year. Maybe it'll take him a little bit to adjust because he's not an ideal linebacker size, but he could possibly bulk up and play linebacker. He has extraordinarily explosive hybrid defender with a versatile skill set, can cover, blitz, and tackle from wherever he lines up on the field. Field tilting speed, elite athleticism, relentless motor, instinctual playmaker. think that this would be a great pick for the Raiders. They've been lacking a linebacker and or safety that can go out and make big plays and can stay healthy. I know that they have Jonathan Abrams, like I said, but he can't stay healthy, so I think that drafting a guy like Jeremiah to either play safety or linebacker could be big for them because they've struggled on defense these last couple of years. With the 18th pick here, I have the Dolphins taking another one of my favorite prospects in this draft, being Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State. He's a 6'6", 310-pound offensive lineman. Listen to that. That's a big man right there. He's big, powerful right tackle who plays with a finisher's mentality and offers versatility to play multiple spots on the line. He's a bulldozer, relentless motor, and rare versatility. I think that this could be a big-time pickup for the Miami Dolphins if he fell right to them. 19th pick here, I have the Washington football team going in and getting an explosive running back out of Clemson, Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne is a 5'10", 205-pound running back. He's a big play guy with rare bursts of speed and elusiveness in the open field, brings utility in the passing game, elite athleticism, and field tilting speed. This could be a great pickup for the Washington football team with the likes of Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick already there. Two good running backs, but I think that Travis Etienne can come in and bring a new pace and come in and be their every down back. And I really would love this pick for the Washington football team. I think this would help them out tremendously. And at this point, they would just be lacking a quarterback. So they're in a great position for many years to come with Etienne. With the 20th pick here, I have the Bears taking one of the more underrated receivers that I really love, Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. Bateman is a 6'2", 210-pound receiver. He's big, crafty pass catcher with quick feet and top-tier body control, a technician off the line who's both fearless over the middle and dangerous down the sideline. He's an every-down receiver that can do it all. He has a pro-ready frame, sure hands, smooth footwork. I think that he could be an instant impact guy for the Bears. He can come in and help Andy Dalton and sure up some open space for Allen Robinson on the other side. With the 21st pick, I have the Colts taking a guy that I really love out of Georgia. His name is super hard to pronounce, at least for me, Azeez Ojulari, I believe, something like that. I'm sorry, I botched your name. He is an edge rusher from Georgia. He's 6'3", 240 pounds, with them losing Justin Hudson. He can be an instant impact guy that can come and fill that void right away. He's an explosive edge rusher with a quick first step and a bending ability, brings versatility to the play in multiple schemes. He has short area quickness, relentless motor, and like I said, he's going to be an instant impact game. In only 10 games last year, he had 8.5 sacks, 30 tackles, 11.5 tackles for loss. The Colts have each year been making great picks, and I think that they will continue that theme with taking Azeez Ojulari. The 22nd pick, I have the Titans taking one of the more interesting prospects in this draft, especially for a first-round guy, Greg Newsome II out of Northwestern. Greg Newsome II is a 6'1", 190-pound corner. He's long, playmaker with balance and ball skills and instincts in coverage. He has coverage chops and refined technique. In 6 games last year, he had 12 tackles and 1 interception. I think with the Titans losing Malcolm Butler and losing Adoree Jackson, that he can come in and be an instant impact guy. I think that there'll be a lot of those in the first round. Does it always go that way? No, but I could see Greg Newsome II having a pretty good rookie year after he gets through his rookie lumps and whatnot in the first half of the season. The 23rd pick from the Seattle Seahawks to the New York Jets and the Jamal Adams trade I have. And he's had some injury questions these last couple of years, but I think staying healthy and whatnot, that he can definitely be a big-time player. And I think that he's definitely going to be a first-round pick. He's definitely worth the risk, so I have the Jets taking him with the 23rd pick. Caleb Farley is a 6'2", 207-pound corner in 11 games. He has 4 interceptions, 20 tackles. He's long, playmaking cornerback with quick feet, fluid athleticism, and excellent ball skills, a pro-ready frame, coverage chops, and elite athleticism. I think that this would be a steal for the Jets at the 23rd pick. With the 24th pick, we have the Steelers taking Najee Harris, running back out of Alabama. Najee Harris is a 6'2", 230 big back. He is our number 1 rated running back. We know that Travis Etienne, we had him going ahead of him. That doesn't necessarily mean that we think he's better. We just thought that the fit for Travis Etienne was better with the football team. But Najee Harris definitely fits with the Steelers, what they've been looking for, and will fill that void with James Conner leaving. He's a bulldozer, has sure hands in the passing game, short area quickness. He's a powerful, old-school runner with quick feet, sudden jukes, and a talent for making defenders miss. A natural playmaker in the passing game as well. We think that Najee Harris will be a perfect AFC North running back and will fit him perfectly for what the Steelers are looking to do. With the 25th pick, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking Kitty Payne out of Michigan. He'll be a nice young player. Payne is a 6'4", 272-pound edge rusher, big, powerful edge rusher with a twitchy get off, strong hands, and non-stop motor. A strong run defender with a variety of pass rushing tools, elite athleticism, short area quickness, and indefinite upside. In 4 games that he played last year, he had 16 tackles, 4 for loss, and 2 sacks. I think that he could be a great player that could go develop in Jacksonville, and in some years, with some development and some time, he could be an all-pro type guy. With the 26th pick, I have the Cleveland Browns taking one of my favorite prospects, someone that's really climbed up draft boards these last couple of months, that being Xavien Collins from Tulsa. He is a 6'4", 260-pound linebacker. Xavien is an athletic linebacker with an old school size and new school skill set. A dynamic run defender, coverage man, pass rusher who can wear and do it all. He has short area quickness, rare versatility, and coverage chops. In 8 games, he had 11 tackles for loss, 53 tackles total, and 4 sacks. I think that he'd be a big-time guy for the Browns to pair along Mack Wilson and company. The 27th pick, I have the Baltimore Ravens taking another one of my favorite guys, someone that's gotten some hate these last couple of months and weeks, but Carlos Basham from Wake Forest. He is a prototypical edge rusher that I could see being an all-pro type guy. He's 6'5", 285 pounds. In 7 games, he had 28 tackles, 5.5 for loss, 5 sacks. He's big, burly edge rusher, tenacious against the run, and consistently creates a disruption against the pass. Could play multiple spots on the defensive line, pro-ready frame, elite athleticism, relentless motor. When you think of an all-pro edge rusher body size and skill set, you think of a guy like Carlos Basham Jr. out of Wake Forest. I think this would be a perfect pick for the Baltimore Ravens. 28th pick, I have the Saints going and getting their Emmanuel Sanders replacement, that being Kadarius Toney out of Florida. In 11 games last year, he had 984 yards, 10 touchdowns, 70 reception, and 21 of those were 20-plus yards. He has elite athleticism, short area quickness, a rare versatility, sudden ascending playmaker with a hybrid skill set who can take the top off a defense as a receiver, make big plays from the backfield. I think that he would be a massive upgrade over Emmanuel Sanders, in my opinion. He had a pretty good college career, and he's really blown up mock drafts and a lot of big boards throughout this combine and pro day stuff. So I think that the Saints go get a replacement and get some help for either Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill. The 29th pick, the Packers finally go draft Aaron Rodgers, the first-round receiver that he so deserves. While it's not the biggest guy that they could have gotten in many years, I think that Elijah Moore could be a big-time player for the Packers, and really anyone you put with Rodgers at this point will have a good career and put up good stats. In 8 games last year, he had 1,193 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 16 of those were for 20-plus yards and 86 receptions. He is 5'9", 185-pound receiver that could fit in perfectly at the slot position like Randall Cobb did for so many years. He's twitchy, versatile pass catcher. What he lacks in size, he makes up for in big plays. He runs sharp routes, catches everything, and makes plays at all 3 levels. He has sure hands, short area quickness, and smooth footwork. I think that he would be a big-time upgrade at the slot position for the Green Bay Packers and could bring a lot of versatility to them and a nice new weapon for Aaron Rodgers. 30th pick, I have the Buffalo Bills taking. You'll never guess, but I mispronounced this guy's name. I am so sorry to you, Jason, but I just, pronunciation dyslexia. it's a struggle over here. Jason Aua out of Penn State. He's a 6'5", 255-pound edge rusher who's an explosive pass rusher with elite physical traits and unrevealed upside, but an uneven sack production, elite athleticism, pro-ready frame, indefinite upside, 38 tackles last year in 7 games and 6.5 tackles for loss. No sacks, unfortunately. I think that he's definitely a developmental piece for the Bills. He'll take some time, but they definitely have the time to bring him along because they are already a contender, so he can take his time and get right because they already have great edge rushers. So it makes sense for them to, take a hit or miss guy at this point, because if he's good, awesome. If he's not so good, it doesn't break them, honestly. And I could even see them trading this pick. So we'll see what the Bills do. But if they do keep it, I do think they take Jason Ua. 31st pick, I have the Baltimore Ravens selecting Alex Leatherwood via the Chiefs trade that involved Orlando Brown. Saying that they lost to Orlando Brown, they're going to go need to get a right tackle, and they can get that in Alex Leatherwood. Alex Leatherwood is a 6'6", 312-pound offensive lineman from Alabama. He's rugged, battle-hardened offensive lineman with an ideal size, excellent power, and positional versatility, pro-ready, refined technique, bulldozer. He can be an instant guy that they can plug and play and can help out Lamar in that offensive line. All right, we finally made it to the last pick. We have the Super Bowl champions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, selecting at the 32nd pick, and I have them taking Trevon Moehrig out of TCU. Sorry, I mispronounced your name as well. Join the club, I guess. I do apologize for that. Something I'll work on for sure. He's 6'1", 209 pounds in 10 games. He had 2 interceptions and 47 tackles. Phenomenally versatile defensive back with a scantalizing blend of length, instincts, and ball skills. Coverage chops, rare versatility. I think that he could add to this already stacked secondary that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have. There's not a lot of holes that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have, but they could definitely go get some more depth at the safety position, and they could have that in Trevon. Thank you so much for watching our mock draft. If you haven't already, please hit the red button down below and leave a like, and we'll see you in the next video. Lastly, I wanted to thank Danny Kelly of The Ringer. I was able to get some notes from his mock draft and his NFL draft guide up on theringer.com, so I would definitely go check that out. You could definitely learn a lot of great things, and I did. It was an awesome place for me to learn a lot more about these prospects besides doing some of my own research and film work. So if you want to get a more in-depth look at all these prospects, I would go check out theringer.com.